So, hi there everybody. Time for me to comment on your comments, and we start with Katya here. Really, it's a nice accent that you have, my teacher. Thank you, Katya. And no, it's Thursday, not Friday. I was going to say happy Friday, but it's not there yet. And 40 love, Mr. Tennis. Drub is to beat someone in a competition, especially by a huge margin. Formality 4.5. To give another team a drubbing. My team is always getting drubbed. Make someone learn by force. Yeah, drub something into somebody. The master drubbed Latin into the boys. To stamp your feet against the ground. To criticize someone harshly. Other meanings. Formality 6. Good, well done, 40 love. And for learn. So, when you gave an example of it is raining. It started raining, and in the second example, example sentence, it started to rain. Could you tell me if they mean the same? So the meaning of these two is exactly the same. Let's see. Let me read the rest of this. My surmise is that it started raining means it was beginning to rain, and rain rapidly and heavily, whereas it started to rain means it began to drizzle. Thank you in advance. No, let's see, start to do something, start doing something, start to do something, start doing something, the same. Begin to do, begin doing, exactly the same. But with other verbs, it's not the same. For example, I stopped to buy a newspaper. Yeah, I was driving and I stopped and I went and bought a newspaper. I stopped buying a newspaper. I didn't buy one anymore. It depends on the verb, yeah? Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different. Stop and begin are the same. And Sheed, hi Sheed. After the court decision, I would say to shunt. Remember, to plus verb. Preposition plus a noun. After the court decision to shunt the former CEO off to prison for his dishonest position towards his employees, the new executive director shows an empathic policy. Yeah, shows empathy. Yeah, okay, empathic. Yeah, is the adjective. Empathy is the noun. But good use of shunt. Well done, Sheed. And for learn. The target whereat I was aiming. Does this require a comma or not? The target at which. Yeah, I would put a comma here. This was the place whereat the battlefield took place. This is the place whereat the battle took place. Where the battle took place. Yeah, I would put a comma. This is the place where the battle took place. Am I right? At which? At which place? I'm not sure I'd use one with where. This was the place where the battle took place. I think with where at, yes. With where, no. Interesting. Thank you. My pleasure, VG. And let's see, P. Hi there, P. The guy talked to him in terms of brotherly love, like a god worship, like a child. And we're supposed to swallow that as if we were born yesterday. What will his fiancée say? Brother, God, child, my foot. We'll talk to the guy on our terms and conditions. He wants to make his fiancée cry like a beother. Don't get this word. It's probably a misprint. Like a my foot. I like this phrase, my foot. It's lovely. Well done, P. And in terms of content, and what about in terms of style? Sorry, it never was our intention to cramp it. Great video, thanks. A very pretty set of pictures. I love it. And Pablo Meragadea. Hi, Pablo. I watched TED Ted Lasso's season 2 episode 7, Headspace. And one lad said, wounded butterfly. Can you help me? I don't know what it means. From Paraguay, Pablo Mera. Okay, a wounded butterfly. So, a wounded butterfly, like a person who can't help themselves, they can't look after themselves, they're really pathetic. Yeah, a wounded butterfly can't fly. So if you describe someone as a wounded butterfly, the butterfly says firstly they're fairly ineffectual, and if they're wounded, even more effectual. So a person who can't do anything for themselves, and I think that's the idea, Pablo. And Manji. I sincerely apologise for making so silly a mistake, sir. It was too late to mend it when I noticed. I prefer the word correct. I think you tend to mend something that's broken. You could have put the word amend it, yeah, or amend it, to amend it when I noticed it. It's only a tiny mistake, Manji. Okay, and this is Pablo Menagadea again with this question. Thanks, dog. My pleasure, Hedge. Great to have you, Hedge. And Mohamed Abunaga. Smile is the best emollient ever. It soothes a lot of conflicts, whereas turning a blind eye to a serious situation is the worst one. Good English, Mohammed, and no mistakes. Manji, can we impugn his capacity as a brilliant student just because he makes some trivial errors from time to time? It's make an error, Manji, so you've made an error there. And to atone, Mohammed, to make up for, to compensate. Good. And Manji again. Shylock was resolute to wreak vengeance on Antonio. So much so that he refused the large sum of money offered by Bassanio and demanded to fulfill the bond by cutting a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. Yeah, and demanded to fulfill the bond. I might make this passive and demanded that the bond be fulfilled. Yeah, but it works like this as well. Thank you, Manji. Very good. So much so that, very good. Mohammed, write down. So whittle down, cut out, trim down, pare down. Good. P-A-R-E. Pare. And Patricia, thanks for hearing our comments, dear teacher. Sweet dreams, and don't let the bees sting, and don't let the fleas bite, as they say. Phase XM. I just lost on this word in a spelling bee. I'm sorry. So, well, now you definitely know how to write it and what it means. And 40. The place where I used to work was far away from my place. So my 20s had been all about shunting about between my home and the place I worked at. Very good English, 40. And Luke. Okay, Luke's on about his Segway song. Yeah, and more from Luke about his Segway song. Okay, but do those songs that I mentioned count as an album track? Yes. 40 Days, Show Me Your Glory, Get On My Heart are actually songs that are Segway tracks. Okay. And Ross Buckley, thank you. Thank you, Ross. I'm glad you liked it. Sick. Oh yeah, I quite liked this video. It's quite a good one. And Clarksonian Japan, fantastic channel. Thank you, Clarksonin. That's very kind of you. And Aditi, we simply can't shunt our responsibilities to our juniors to traverse our laziness and devil-may-care attitude. The high-handed approach may cost us our job when caught red-handed, and then we have to pocket an insult for our survival in that organisation. Very good English, no mistakes, well written, Aditi. And Abdel Rahman, hi Abdel. Excuse me, sir, you already did a good lesson about this word tantamount. To limit or border. Can you mention that to me again? Tantamount to limit or border. to border on, to limit on. The boundary of something. This bounds on. My house bounds on the bank, to abut onto. My house abuts onto a park. I would say to abut, a boundary, a border, a borderline, something like that. To delimit, the limits of something as well. Okay, Nora, I've undertaken the journey of taking the CELTA course, whereat I have the golden opportunity to solidify the quality of my CV. Very good indeed, Nora. It's going to help you as a teacher, I'm certain of it. Nora, dearest teacher, may you kindly make a video on the word mores. Notice the pronunciation of this word, mores. I checked it and I haven't got it, so I've got it written down here, Nora. Thank you. And may you explain the verb saunter, please? I'm pretty sure I've got the verb saunter, but I will check it. Saunter. I'm sure it's in at least a vivid verb video. Thank you, Henry Correa. And explain the verb triumph, please. To triumph, to be successful, to win. So it had always been his ambition to become a doctor, and finally he triumphed. He was successful. My team triumphed in the final. They won. So to triumph, to be successful, to win, to get your goal, to meet your aim. Yeah? So I hope you triumph in life, Henry. And Roland. Mr. Keating is the protagonist in the Dead Poets Society. The new teacher is able to instill new life, changing philosophical seeds into his... Okay, let me try that again. The new teacher is able to instill new life-changing philosophical seeds into his students, as it were. That works well. Notwithstanding the warnings from the head teacher, he continues to teach in his own unorthodox way. His lessons can wake up his students' dormant talents, and his lessons provide a hothouse atmosphere for fecund imagination and free thinking. Good. His teaching method stirs up the stagnant water of this elite school's everyday life, whereat Mr. Keating is frowned upon by the conservative circle of teachers. Very good. I might have used the word clique here, but the circle's very good. No mistakes, Roland. Very good indeed. Well written. And Yali. Hi, Yali. My boss gave me a run-of-the-mill lecture and expected that I like it. Good example of run-of-the-mill, Yali, and the right answer. Hi there, 40. And let it slide, George Abraham slackened one's efforts, absolutely. And Aditi. Invasion and warlike situations run, because I'm making it plural, counter to the peace and tranquility of the world, wherein everyone is facing shifting sands of natural calamities. I love this shifting sands. That's very nice, Aditi. Warlike situations run, but that's fine. And Aditi. English is a situational language, hence cramming the vocabulary and phrases may prove counterproductive to gaining inside-out understanding of the language. It hinders the process of learning, and one can find it difficult to counter one's twitchiness while speaking. Yes, I think very often in many cases the cultural elements of things are the most important. And Manji says, astounding example, Aditi, wish I could. And Aditi says, hey, that's so kind of you. Thanks for your appreciation and motivation. Thank you, both of you. And Manji. Some romantic novelists prefer that the first encounter between heroes and their female counterparts should be dramatic, if not melodramatic. Very good indeed. And that's true, says Aditi. I guess I guess the same applies to those who are seeking fluency when it comes to becoming a natural speaker rather than being melodramatic at times. Great English from both of you. I love it. Thank you. So, Manny, hi Manny. You use the word effectively quite a lot in your videos. Can you make a video about it? And also on the collocation in effect. You see, I think in effect and effectively have the same meaning. Effectively means this is the real meaning of this. This is what happens in real life. Yeah, this is how something works. You can have rules that effectively don't work. So they're rules, but in reality, they don't work. So effectively, it's the real situation to something. I've got that written down, Manny. Thank you. And P, hi Alex. I hardly slept last night. I'm sorry. I will need 2 or 3 naps during the day to counteract the loss of sleep and fatigue. Okay. Counter collocations, absolutely. And Fran, good morning, Fran. I wasn't privy to that information. Good work, Fran. Good example. Manji, had Matilda known that the necklace she borrowed was just a counterfeit, her life would have been different. The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. Had she felt satisfied with what she had, she wouldn't have had to suffer. Good English from both of you. And she says, spot on, AK. I like this phrase, spot on. It's one of the ones I use quite a lot as well. Thank you, Manji. Okay, so the answer to yesterday's quiz was knuckle down. Knuckle down to or knuckle down with, as Leffy pointed out for me. And P. I like to have at least 3 or 4 counters or islands of varying height in the kitchen. One for cooking to have my coffee or a quick meal, and the others to write, paint or to do my needlework. That sounds really good. Thank you, P. Good English. Manji. Fights are quite normal in relationships, but some people prefer to build up a volcano of resentment inside them, which one day erupts with vicious charges and countercharges against one another. Very good. Good English. Thank you, Neetu. I quite agree. Well written, Manji. And I guess the answer is clam up. Definitely right, Neetu. To clam up. I thought this one was going to be an easy one, but a lot of people seem to be having difficulty with this clam up one. And Mrs. Mummy, thank you for your examples. Glad you like them. A baptism of fire. So great. When is it? 109, Alex. Give it about 10 days. 10 days from now. 10th of April is my guess. And Aditi says clam up. That's the right one. Well done, Aditi. And 40. Hi, sir. Is it correct to say I was born the year she died? Yes, it is. I must have been absent the day he taught the topic. Very good. No problem at all. They're completely correct. And I swear English is a seafood expert. Well, I certainly am an expert about eating it. Yes. But you see, Leffy, the point is all of these things are readily available here where I live. Whereas in London, well, you can buy them, but they cost a fortune. Here they're really quite cheap. Sheed. I usually take the blue counter in games, but sometimes I get some counter reactions. In this case, I generally end up with a random one. Very good English, Sheed. Hey Ronan, great to see you. And clam up by vibes, spot on the right answer. And Veronica Dolgoshina, thank you so much for your lesson. Now I understand the meaning of the phrasal word very clearly. Great, yeah, as it turns out. My pleasure. And Manji says clam up, which is the right answer. And 40, hello sir. I came across this structure, adjective of a noun, much of a book, how dark of a situation. Can I use this structure? How much of a problem have you had? Yes, you can. I wouldn't say how dark of a situation. I would say how dark a situation. Um, uh, Much of a yes. But with other adjectives, I'm trying to think of other examples, but I can't. So I would say AK certainly with it isn't much of a book. He isn't. It wasn't much of a party. But I would say only with this much. See if you can find me some other examples. 40. And P says clam up, and she's absolutely right. And 40 says if she told me that he was dead, I would feel bad. Or she told me that they treated her as if she had been their servant. Well done, 40. You're getting these. And Fran. Hi, Fran. Learning English is fraught with difficulties. Great use of fraught. I love this sentence. It sounds really good. And Yo VG, my pleasure. And Dommy goes for number 2, which is to, I believe it's to clam up. Okay. And VG, her counter move resulted in her victory. Good English. Our counter offer for the house has been accepted. Good English. His scathing counterattack has blown people away. More good English. Setin bodur. Can it be used in a metaphorical way? Like I'm squirreling away information. Notice information's uncountable. To use against somebody when I was pointed at about something. So that would be the way to keep them mute. Yes, you can use this. I was squirreling away information. Yeah, I was squirreling away vocabulary for use on my holiday. Very definitely, Setin. And VG, turn the button in a counterclockwise direction to switch on the fan. Good. A counterintelligence agent helped us get rid of the spies. Good English. Their countermeasures don't seem to be working at all. Good English. Penelope promised her suitors she would marry one of them once her tapestry was finished. When night fell, she would undo her work in a bid to thwart their attempts to wed her. Classical. Penelope's web, yeah. And VG, eating a lot of fatty food after exercising is quite counterproductive. Good English. There have been no counter-proposals, fortunately. Good English. The counter-revolutionary militia were persecuted and killed by the population of the county. And there are experts at buildings and site countertops. Okay, there are experts at building and siting countertops. Okay, I would probably say constructing, because building has more an idea of bricks, where this is a piece of furniture in the kitchen, so it's something you could construct or make. If somebody clams up, they stop talking, usually because they're shy or they don't want to give away any secrets or confidential information. Very definitely. Would you be able to make a video of the word in as much as? I think I've got one. In as much as. And for as much as. Okay, Ronnie, I'll check. If I've got one, I will send you a link. When the police interviewed the subject, his reaction was to clam up and not answer their questions. Exactly, VG. Saltine. However many times I've tried to get the document signed, to get the mayor to accept the allocation funds over poverty, to accept the allocation of funds over poverty, he always abnegated and scoffed at it. It was presumptuous of him anyways. Good English, Setin. I used to clam up when I noticed people were looking at me. Good English, VG. Don't clam up. You're such a sweet person, and you can speak your mind. Well done, VG. And P. When she learned that she would arrive by the next flight, she swapped her jeans for a crimson lace dress, undid her long wavy hair, and attached a huge red and blue flower in a twisted lock above her ear, and abutting her right temple. Great English. And Hajrak. Hi Hajrak, great to see you. And P. She was always gentle, kind, and open to new ideas. But she was also determined, and when she felt threatened, she would protect her interests with a hard-nosed masculine attitude. Very good English, P. And Fran. Maybe it will take Will Smith a few months to claw back his reputation. Good use of claw back. Well done, Fran. And Duroc. Hi, Duroc. Can you tell me the difference among... she'll be after me, or is it for learn after that one? Teem with, full of, laden with, riddled with, rife with. Okay, that's a good, Duroc. Let's see. Teeming with, this has the feeling of motion and people moving. The market was teeming with people. Yeah, teeming gives me the idea of lots of movement as well, although the meaning is full of. Yeah, it means a large number of something. The basket was teeming with apples. Yes, I probably in that case would use laden with, but okay, to teem with, the nuance says live things moving. Full of just means to the top, yeah, and is general among them. Laden with is a load that you've got to carry. So the basket was laden with fruit. The ship was laden with cargo. Yeah, laden with heavy. And riddled with, if something's riddled with, this is full of something bad. So, for example, this piece of furniture is riddled with woodworm. So it's got this idea of teeming with, but teeming with something bad. This area of town is riddled with corruption. Yeah, the government is riddled with dishonesty. And rife with, again, rife is normally for something bad. So this area is rife with corruption. This area is rife with disease. Again, so I would say riddled with. Riddled with has the idea of it permeates all the way through something. Rife with means there is a lot of it. It's very prevalent in that area. It's common in that area. That was a very good question. Thank you, Duroc. And Deep Tea. Amazing lesson. To counter his counterpart, he decided to grease the palm of the man, but it turned counterproductive. Okay, yeah, that's very good, Deep Tea. And Nitu. In the parent-teacher meeting, one of the parents advised that the student should not be overwhelmed with copious amounts of homework. To this, many parents countered the suggestion and condemned the parents' conventional mindset. Okay, very good, Nitu. And Al Razak, clam up is the right answer, definitely. And sorry, Sean, it's not muscle. Try again. Try again. Unfortunately, it's a different one. And let's just refresh this. So while it's refreshing, if you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you after these few more comments. Well, it's taking its merry time today, isn't it? Well, come on, react. Here, yeah. I've got people waiting here watching. That's better. Here we go. Okay. So, a little bit of patience, and there we are. Okay. And just the one from VG. Congratulations on 108,000 plus. May more come. Thank you. I like this May as well. It's a good piece. So, I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.